I have a very, very weird relationship with cars. I'm not having sex with them, don't worry. Um, probably wouldn't fit in the exhaust pipe anyway. Wink, wink. That was stupid. Anyway, anyway, um, no, I hate, but I also love cars. Let me explain. So, I kind of fell into the trap of, well, not trap, well, yeah, pretty much trap of anti-car, like urbanist culture a pretty long time ago. And it's not like I'm scorned from it, but then I kind of fell into general car culture next and just loving cars. So now I'm in the middle. The thing is, cars are horrible for a lot of different things, not even just environmental, just social. I mean, our commute, it's kind of like the internet where there's a phenomenon where the internet there's a phenomenon uh I guess of the internet where people are noticing that, and I think it's been scientifically proven that people just kind of have way less empathy when they can associate a face with an account. Hence why certain single letter social media platforms have some of the most toxic people, just complete cesspools, just the dredges of humanity. And it's not that they were always like that, it's that they're, well, yeah, they were probably always like that, but the big issue is that they have no empathy because they don't associate the people around them as people. They don't see the person posting a take they disagree with as an actual person. They just see it as a string of text that disagrees with them, and that string of text deserves to have its feelings hurt. It's a really weird psychological justification, I guess. And I think the same thing kind of happens with cars. Not on as noticeable as a scale, or at least cars have existed so long that people haven't really noticed a difference. And actually, where cars are, I suppose, less common in Europe, I've heard that people in Europe are very miserable, and they're always very surprised at how nice Americans are. But that kind of goes up against my point, so I'm just gonna ignore it. I think that spending all day in a car surrounded by other cars, or like your commute on the way to work or wherever, is detrimental if you're taking it in a car, or at least compared to like taking it on a train or a bus, or even just walking or riding your bike or whatever. You look at the Netherlands and, or like Denmark. I think Denmark is the happiest country in the world, if not Finland. And I have nothing to say for Finland, but Denmark and the Netherlands, or Belgium. I think I'm thinking of Belgium. Well, they're probably both, but pretty sure it's Belgium. They have civilian focused infrastructure. You can walk anywhere you need to go, or take a train or a bus. Um, you don't have to drive, and I think that's huge for like culture and just people being nice to each other, because you're constantly interacting with other people, as opposed to hopping into your 3,000 ton 15-foot long SUV that's twice the size of an M1 Abrams just to drive 3 minutes down the street to the local Walmart. I'm sure people interact there, but I think there's something big about just constantly being around people. I think the big reason why I'm so against cars and more of an urbanist is just because I find the idea of just walking down 3 minutes to the corner store to be very romantic. Like, don't get me wrong, I love driving. I drive way too much every time I go out. Um, I have like or at least I'm trying to have a dedicated day of the week where I'll just drive around for 3 hours, as opposed to doing it every time I drive because it was starting to get very expensive. So Like, yeah, I love driving, but there's just something very pleasant about the idea of walking to a corner store. Like, if I need a single gallon of milk, and this is just ignoring the idea that I wouldn't even bother, which is another benefit of the corner store, I guess, is like if I needed a single gallon of milk, I wouldn't bother driving 10 minutes there and 10 minutes back to Walmart. I guess in the meantime I'd get other stuff. That's and then I'd end up spending more money. So yeah, that's a good benefit. And ignoring that idea, that saying I would go just for the single gallon of milk, I still think that corner stores are just better at fostering a community. We've all seen In the Heights, every single one of us. 8 billion people all seen In the Heights. That corner store, and like that whole block really, but especially that corner store, is like a gathering of culture. Because it's people from the area. So you're constantly interacting with those people. You're constantly near those people. I think that these social spaces that we can walk to and that are localized to our area are huge. Like, they're just... And I'm not trying to give a political or economic take. I'm just saying, like, for the sake of us being nice to each other, it's huge. Like, you'll be friends with all your neighbors. Or you'll really hate your neighbors. You'll probably be friends with all your neighbors because you'll constantly be interacting with them. You'll be, far more likely to hang out with them, help them out when they're in times of need because you see them, you know? Every time you go to your corner store in your neighborhood, your neighbors are there. Or the playground or whatever. You know, the Russian Soviet architecture, I'm not here to defend it. It's brutalist. It's not very pleasant to look at. But, you know, they're always built around playgrounds. I don't know if that's just a video game thing. Like, it's always the same Russian cement block that's always localized around a little rusted out playground with no kids. I don't know if that's real or not. If it is real, then that's pretty big. I think that that's probably huge. Although Russia always seemed to be stereotyped as like a very demure, miserable country. But I think the Americans could pull it off. Honestly, like, I think those social spaces are huge. Like, I think it's really good to constantly being interacting with other people. I know that a lot of people say, like, oh, how great, especially YouTubers, you always see whenever they get sponsorships for HelloFresh or whatever, it's, I hate going to the grocery store and having to interact with people. Ew. And, like, listen here, I am no social butterfly. I cannot talk for more than 30 seconds without derailing the conversation. I'm not good at talking to people. I'm rather shy. But you know what? I like being around other people. I don't like just sitting at home all day. Like, I will go out of my way to go to the store or go to the park or whatever. Even if I don't need to. You know, like, I'll read in the park instead of just reading at home. Because I like being around other people. Even if I'm not expressly interacting with them, I still like to acknowledge their existence. It's fun to be around other people. Would you believe it? And I think I suggest that other people do it as well. You know, go out of your way to be around other people. You don't have to talk to them or anything if you're shy. But just be around other people. It'll make you more empathetic, that's for sure. But that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is cars. And I gave my argument for or against cars not very effectively. I promise I'm a better debater when I'm writing because I'm more focused. This is very off the cuff, and I don't want to come off as stupid. And I know that saying I'm not stupid isn't going to prove anything, but just keep it in your mind. I'm not stupid. I'm just very distracted when I'm speaking out loud, which will hopefully get better. Who knows? Who can say? Okay, yeah, case in point. But yeah, hopefully that gets better. I'm not dumb. I'm just a distractible person. Next point. So, I didn't forget anything, did I? No. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. At any rate, uh, my argument for cars is I love car culture. Sometimes they're, real. I mean, every community has its fair share of unpleasant people, and it always seems worse in the community you're most closely attached to, especially when you don't really know what you're talking about. I'm not the most familiar with cars. I probably know more than most people, but that's not saying much when most people don't know what the V and number means in your engine, or the correlation between the amount of liters in your engine and its processes. But yeah, I don't know that much, but I know more than most people. Not remarkable by any means. There we go. Oh my gosh. But yeah. So then I guess the question comes up of like, well then why do you like cars if you don't know anything about them? And one, I like learning new things. I really, really like learning new things because it just makes me feel nice to learn new things. So I always have a lot of fun like watching YouTube videos about people building cars. I follow this YouTuber called Four Eyes. Yes, Four Eyes. He has a Dodge Viper, I think, or he has some sort of Dodge from the early 2000s, and it was already a sports car. But he keeps putting like thousands and thousands of dollars into it, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars into it, to just make it the most absurd racing machine. And I find that really interesting, and I like learning about that. I think cars are really pleasant to look at. Not modern cars. In fact, I think modern cars are atrociously ugly. I hate SUVs and I hate trucks. I'm not gonna elaborate on that because like it would take hours, but just know that I hate them with a burning passion. That is what that is, I suppose. Yeah, I don't want to distract from the main idea. I think the old cars, and there's gems. Personally, I think the Porsche 911 has just been going too long as far as designs go. Like, it looks nice the first 8,000 times you see it, and then you realize that they're still doing it. Um, but yeah, the problem is, like, I don't hate all modern car designs. I love sedans. I love, like, BMW sedans. I don't know any of the specific models. Just goes to show you what I know about cars. Or shows to go, yeah. Sorry, that's a Beavis and Butthead thing. Yeah. I don't know if it's, like, specific models. I do for some older cars. But yeah, cars, nice to look at. Very nice. I also like driving as a skill. I like getting better at driving. I'm not the greatest driver, but that's why I get better, And fixing cars, driving cars, looking at cars. I also think that cars are probably the most important invention of all human history. Like, you can tie most of anything. You can tie anything to cars. Everything that we have today, everything that we've had in the last 100 years, can all in some way be attributed to cars. So they play a huge role in a huge role in our history, in human history. They also play a huge role in just human culture. You can see how exponentially cars got bigger in America over time, which kind of speaks to our very showy and excessive nature, which personally I hate. Hence my hatred of SUVs and trucks, but that's its own thing. Sorry, I'm so distracted. Yeah. Love cars, hate cars. I love rally racing. Love rally racing. And so yeah, sorry. Going back to culture, you can see that. You can see a lot of other aspects. I love Jay Leno, his YouTube channel. I've seen like 100 of his videos. I just turn them on. They're always very interesting. There's a lot of beautiful cars there. I love Duesenbergs. I'm planning to go to the Gilmore Car Museum with my grandfather the next time he comes out, so that should be really cool. It's allegedly the biggest in all of North America, the biggest car museum. Is that true? I don't know, because the only place I've seen it corroborated is their own website, and then other people saying, well, according to them, it's the biggest. So I'm really downplaying this this museum. I'm sure it probably is. It's huge. I've never been, but I would like to go. They have a really cool party coming on soon, like a 1920s party, which I wouldn't be able to attend anyway. I'm not old enough, but if I could, I absolutely would. At any rate, yeah, very interesting, very beautiful to look at, very innovative, very important. I love rally racing. It's the most insane sport. It's also a very relaxed sport in a lot of ways. You don't necessarily have to be a billionaire to do it. It's also not gendered. In fact, some of the most famous rally racers, or at least the most talented rally racers, were women. So there you go. It's pretty awesome. The thing I love about rally racing is that I the reason I always hated racing as a kid, and I did hate racing, I thought it was the dumbest thing, is because it was like, oh, it's an oval, or it's a straight line, it's a drag race, or it's, a little loopy, it's a little wavy, like an F1 race. It's just not interesting. It obviously, now I know that there's a lot more skill in it, which now it kind of makes it seem like I'm an idiot because I just like rally for the flashiness of it. That's not the only reason, but that is a big reason. That's one of the reasons I got into it. Was that because to me it always seemed like, oh, you can just hold down the gas pedal and you'll win, or at least you'll place third. But now I realize that wasn't the case. But yeah, rally racing always appealed to me because it's not like that at all. Rally courses are, even if they were a straight line, it would be a challenge to stay on the road because they're dirty, messy. It's also a time trial. I have a weird thing about, I don't know, I guess I'm a sore loser. I always hated competition, but rallies, it does competition in a very different way. It's still a competition, but it's more of a time trial thing. So yeah, it has a lot of yeses for me, and the point I'm trying to get to is the rally cars kick ass. The Audi Quattro, the Lancia 071, I think, like those Group B icons. Very, very cool, outrageously fast. I love Group B. So interesting. Like the cowboys of the 1980s. Well, I guess the 20th century. Truly, like, I saw somewhere that modern cars are still faster. Modern rally cars, at least, are faster than Group B. But the thing about Group B was that it was not safe at all. They were jumping into these cars that at every step of the way were trying everything they could to obliterate them. And a lot of people did die. A lot of people died because these cars were just too much to handle. But they still tried it anyway. That's why I call them cowboys, heading into new frontiers. I can't prove this. I don't have any specific examples, but I have a feeling that a lot of what the safety features that we have in cars today probably came from Group B. That's what you see a lot with safety, is like when people push whatever to the extremes, a lot of safety comes from that. So I imagine Group B probably did. There we go. Group B probably contributed to our safety in some way. So shout out to Group B. Really cool. Yeah, that's about it. Sorry for the disjointed video. You don't care. You're probably not watching this. Well, hopefully somebody's watching this because I do take pride in these for some reason. I just like sharing my thoughts. I have a lot of them. I'm always thinking, so it means something to me that I can express these and then come back. Although I don't really want to because these videos are probably nothing short of dog shit, as they say. So yeah, really like cars. I'm actually proud of how this video started because I was very focused at the beginning. I expressed my points concisely and in an organized manner. That did not last, of course. Not at all. But it did start that way. Very proud. Excuse me. Hopefully that can continue. And if you watched the video that will probably be uploaded before this, then yes, I did record these within the span of like 30 seconds of each other. I finished the one, drove around for maybe 5 seconds, and then I started the next one. I won't do that again because I don't really have any other ideas right now. Well, I do, but I just very tired. I'm not editing these videos or anything, but the problem is that this one's 21 minutes as of right now, which means that I probably can't upload it because YouTube is goofy. Well, at any rate, catch you later. Stay safe. Don't grind. I don't mean masturbate. Well, you probably shouldn't masturbate either. But don't grind, because that was the point of the last video. You know, take it easy. Live large, live life. Do whatever that freaking hey you want, because at the end of the day, you'll be dead. So, and you don't want any regrets. I can't sleep. It's hard for me to sleep sometimes because all the dumb stuff I did like 5 years ago. Which is stupid, but whatever. Well, my own body's telling me to stop, so peace out.